Peaches, Craig. Craig wants to know if that's a new Peaches. This is the same Peaches that's always been here. Good afternoon, Sharon, and welcome. She won't be here because she's down south, so they just got hit by Hurricane Laura. So yeah, I can see why she won't be here. Good morning, Audrey. Welcome. All right, we have a bunch of us here. Let's start with the usual commercial. First, a greeting to all my tribe, everyone. I hope you guys are doing okay. I know a few of them are sleeping right now, and it's like 11 o'clock. Well, they're not sleeping. They're still groggy because there's no school. At least for this week or so, until like a week into September, there's no school for most of them. Morning to my sister Lee. Keep patrolling that empty floor. You know what I mean. And Dolly, as you can see, is not here. She's out. But this is Dolly's area. She's not here. And good morning to all my tribe. Little ones, big ones, good morning. And hey guys, how's everyone? Hope you're all doing well. Some of them are here, some of them are abroad, some of them are everywhere, somewhere else. So let's see. Good morning, Davina. Actually, good afternoon, Davina. Because you're across the pond. Good morning, Gary, and good morning, Heather. I know you already said good morning, but I got the official notice. So I hope you're all doing well today. Oh, let me shut my phone up. Because if not, I'll be getting alerts left and right. And start the time. Else we'll be here all day. All right, so let me give you the usuals. Let's see. Find us on Instagram, like and share our Instagram page, Spittin' Peaches on Instagram. On YouTube, if you see our YouTube channel, you've been seeing the awesome, cool ads that Chris has been putting up. So, and it has the majors of badassery on it. That's our YouTube channel that Chris Mendoza is responsible for. He's like knocking it out of the park. So on YouTube page is Beaten Peaches, Storyteller. This is episode 30, if I'm not mistaken. So like, subscribe, and share. There's a whole bunch of us in the mob and not so much of us on YouTube. So let's get a lot of those people on our YouTube channel too. It helps the YouTube channel grow. Also, don't forget to get your ZAZZLE swag. I went to the store, I want to say a few days ago. I was like, wow, there's just so much stuff on there. It's incredible. So go to ZAZZLE and M&S, EMANDES, M&S, and get some swag. There's a whole bunch of swag out there. What do you mean, Craig? And if you can only watch us on YouTube, or if you're watching us on YouTube, hello. And Craig is Chris is handling the YouTube side. So good morning, and thank you, Chris Chrisman, for being an awesome technomancer. Let's see, is Dolly, Malcolm wants to know if Dolly avoiding us. No, she's right here. Can't you see her? Look, she's right here. No, she had to go out. She had to move some stuff, do some stuff with the car, so she's out and about in the morning. She got an early start. Good morning, Elaine. Welcome. And we are live on YouTube also, so we're like getting international. Awesome. That I'm here all day. I am here all day. I'm not online all day in terms of actually, but I am available most of the day. If you on the mob, I'm there all day pretty much. I'm writing, but I'm there all day. The thing is that I'm not answering questions all day, but I'll pop in, and I have a really big screen, and my screen can be divided into smaller screens, and so I can see what's happening in the room pretty much all the time. But that's what the pack is for. The pack is always watching the room, kind of keeping an eye on things, making sure the room stays the way it's supposed to stay, and they really only contact me if something is like, whoa, you need to look at this. Other than that, they really do handle the room, and the pack does not play. I would not cross the pack. because they take the responsibility seriously about keeping the room a safe space for everyone. Mary Beth says she can't get YouTube to work, so Mary, I would suggest you contact Chris. Maybe he can help you with that. He's really good. Hola, Annie. Welcome. I hope you got that kind of situation worked out in the story. Or at least I hope you're making progress on that. Good morning, Mark Rollison. Welcome. Awesome to have you here. As awesome as it is for you to be here. Chris is like, try refreshing the YouTube page. That's basically the IT version of, did you turn it on and turn it off again? Davina goes, I only just found out that M&S is M and S. I've been saying it like M and E's. No, it's M and S because I want to, it's clever, it's wordplay, it's what we do in the stories. So yeah, it's M and S. And that way, Mark and Spencer doesn't come after us. Renee, good morning, welcome. So yeah, so that's let's touch upon the upcoming and current projects. And if you have questions, this is the day. I mean, post your questions, I'll answer them. Yeah, that's what we're here. We're here to hang out. I'm glad I was able to help you, Annie. I know sometimes it could be a little sticky. When I run into those kind of situations as a writer, and these are for all the writers and the creatives out there, one of the things you could do is try to tap someone else's brain. That usually helps. And if you can't do that, you step away from the work for a little while. Do something that is not heavily creatively taxing. Wash the dishes, cut your grass, go for a drive, go for a walk. Usually what that does is it frees up your brain to work on that problem, and then you kind of get a solution. Stephen King calls it giving it to the boys in the basement. Robert Frost used to go for walks. It's things like that. It's that kind of activity. What it does, it frees up your brain to kind of work on these knotty problems that you may have as a writer, or story problems, or plot problems, or just problems in life too, I guess. Chris says that's the miracle IT cure. Yeah, turn it on and turn it off again. That's the IT cure. Malcolm, it's not Greek, no. Let's see. Renee, welcome back then. If you've missed this, we've missed having you here. I'm glad you can make it today. Dan, Senor Awesome, good morning. Thank you for the link to the new Batman trailer. We'll get into that a little later in the Q&A section. I'm a little ambivalent about Pattinson as Batman, but we'll talk about that in a little while. I'll make sure to make time for it. Let's see. Paige, would you consider writing a minor character with a Kirk fixation? Or will all that punctuation fry your editor? Yeah, I think that would kill my readers because they would just lose it after a while. You have to understand my situation with commas and my writing. And a character with a Kirk fixation, Davina, would come across the pond and hurt me, in addition to her comma collective. So, no. At least not speaking like Kirk. Maybe that, let's see, between Monty and Simon, Monty is the Star Trek type. He leans more towards Star Trek, whereas Simon is more Star Wars. So that would be the fixation, as far as the fixation goes. But you see that person in the back, that arm that you saw, that was Dolly. Really? I know she's trying to. You see the chair? You see the chair trying to slowly get out of the camera frame? That's Dolly trying to pull it out. Just say hello. Good morning and say hello. Say hello. Come in. Say hello. Just pop in. Oh, there she goes. It's like, where's Waldo? Where's Dolly? She's back there. Yeah, it would shred the shredders. I wouldn't write a Star Trek type character, a Kirk fixated character. That would not walk away. That would not be good. No. Yeah, no, really. Craig has nailed. Davina would have a comma coma, and then she would come hurt me. So I'm gonna avoid that. Good morning, Alicia. Hello, welcome. Oh, let's see. Yeah, Davina has encapsulated it. I can't do Shatner commas because I have enough trouble with the Either I place them where they don't belong, and so it sounds like a like a Shatner sentence, or I don't place them where they should be, and so it sounds almost like a run-on sentence. So, yeah, I'm not gonna. If I start doing Kirk speech patterns, it's gonna get crazy. Stefan, good morning. I hope I said that right, Stefan, and it's not Stefan. It could be Stefan, depending on how you pronounce it. Yeah, Chris, that goes way back. Soupy Sales and Fang. Jesus, most of us, I think, yeah, most of us should know who Soupy Sales was. Yeah. So, the phone is connected, so hopefully we won't get a call. But if you hear a phone ringing, I forgot to disconnect it, but I did turn off my phone. Everybody's saying hello. Yes, Paige, I'm showing my age. I'm the one who wants to watch Casablanca over the weekend. And I didn't really get to see it when it came out, but I did see it as a kid. And I made a real impact. And yeah, but I enjoy those kind of movies. As like I enjoy, modern movies too. But I do enjoy the classics. Let's see. Craig, I tried that. Craig says it's easy, follow the breathe method. So like when you take a breath, you would put a comma because it's a natural space. I tried that. My breathing pattern must be completely off the rails because sometimes I do that and then it's not where it's supposed to be. And then sometimes I don't do it and it should be. So I got to look at my breathing then. I think Wendy's here with us. Welcome, Wendy. Good morning. All right, so let me continue. All right, so upcoming and current projects. So Blood Rule is almost done. It's like I'm approaching the end, but I'm not approaching the end, but I know it has to get done. I'm going to leave a lot of stuff for Walking the Razor. So Blood Rule, the end of Blood Rule kind of dovetails right into the beginning of Walking the Razor. So expect to see a lot of Michiko in Walking the Razor. And Blood Rule will be done, so the art should be this week. I know it was supposed to be last week. I kind of said it was supposed to be last week. And then my knee decided to say, no, you're going to feel old this week. And so couldn't walk around for a little while, and it was barking at me. So it's a little hard to write with the pain. It's not so much pain, it's just discomfort. So sitting was a pain, walking was a pain, laying down was a pain. It was like, ugh. And so it's a little hard to write. I did manage to write because I would write on my phone when I was laying down, kind of propping it up. I would write, and I would add to the chapters, and I would sit on my desk and I would write. And I would sit for a while, but then it would bother me. And then I try to take my mind off of it by going into Tsushima. And I actually finished Ghost of Tsushima, which is a phenomenal game. It should win Game of the Year. And so all that stuff was just to distract myself from the discomfort. But it's much better now, and hopefully I'll be finishing it over the weekend. So it depends on what happens this weekend. But yeah, I should be finishing over the weekend. And Wendy says, I hate old knees. Yeah. My knees aren't old. My knees are really, really strong. I did something really strange to it. The last time I squatted at the gym, I was squatting 500 pounds, and I was deadlifting 520 pounds. And I was overhead pressing 250 pounds. So my knees are good for that. And I haven't done anything traumatic to them. Could just be wear and tear. Could just be age. These are karate knees. So there's a lot of seiza, which is sitting on them. And of Zenkutsudachi, a lot of different stances that put a lot of stress on the knees. But when you do it biomechanically right, I know a lot of old karate teachers who have no knee issues, but I also know a lot of old karate teachers who need a cane. So it all depends on how you treat your body too. And I need to lose weight anyway, so losing weight all helps. Craig says, when is Michiko box set coming out with all her art? Right after the third book, Blood Rule, drops. When are we doing the box set? Like a month later or a week later? A month later. So you can wait a month to get all three at once, or you can get the third one and then get all three at once. Some people like to just buy box sets, so that's how we kind of space it out. And some people just like to get it. I know people who are waiting for the third one to come out to get to, and they have the first two, they just haven't read the first two because they're waiting for the third one. So it depends on how you like to read. Tina Rose. Hi, Tina. I didn't see you come in. Tina, is Sid like Sid in Final Fantasy? I never played Final Fantasy, so I have no context for you. So maybe you could describe the Sid in Final Fantasy, and I can tell you. Davina asks, Does she die a slow and painful death? Please. She already did. Remember, she's undead. So there you go. So it doesn't happen again. Sorry, Davina. Even with the please. Chris says it's an annoying pain, not pain. Yeah, it's not a pain. It's just a general discomfort that just gets you. This is why old people with pain are cranky. It's not that they're just cranky. It's the discomfort makes you cranky. So you're just like in a foul mood, and there's not really nothing you can do about it. You're just in a foul mood. Like a paper cut. Yeah, this is like a paper cut on a larger scale. Exactly, Craig. Paige, my karate teacher had double hip replacement, and it's part of, I guess, aging, but it happens, and I sympathize. My knee sympathizes with your hips, Paige, for sure. Tavina says, not really. If you kill Chi, I'll need something else, not tonight. So let's leave Chi alive, and you can focus all your dislike on Chi. There you go. Oh, wow, really, Craig? Craig says movie theaters are open in Huntsville. So if you do go, Craig, please observe social distancing, wear your mask. This stuff isn't over yet. I know people are acting like it's done and it's past us. It's not. At last count, a few days ago, I think the day before yesterday, it was 1,200 dead from COVID. And the whole last week, it was averaging about 1,000 people a day. So it's still not over. It's still going strong. And so be careful, okay? Yeah, let's see. Yeah, Chris, exactly. It's just being cranky. I try not to be cranky because it's not really my nature, but sometimes when you're just not in a good mood, you're cranky. Yeah. Wendy says, nice vague answer on the death and undead. Yeah, vampires are undead. So it's discussed a few times in the ruler council series. Like Byako says things like that, and Michigo kind of has to remind her, you realize that we're already dead, or you realize you're already dead, right? So it's hard to kill someone who's already dead unless it's permadeath, like Byako says, and that's just dusting someone. Yeah, Davina says that's why I'm always cranky. Yeah, well, yeah, discomfort will do that for you. And for me, it was like I would find these positions, like I open my leg into a certain position, and it was completely neutral, no pain, and that would last about 30 seconds, and then it would start like the pulsing again. I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. So when it starts taking sleep, like when I can't sleep, and I know it sounds amazing that I do sleep, but occasionally I do, but when it starts doing that, that's when I get irritable. Craig says the New Mutants is on the schedule. Yeah, I saw the trailer for the New Mutants. I'm up in the air about it, Craig. It looks like it could be really good. Then again, it looks like it could be really bad. I hope that the best of the movie is not in the New Mutant. So I hope it's good. So Tina says almost all the series has an engine named Sid across several dimensions. That's pretty cool. Yeah. The Sid in the story, Sid Rat, is a lead designer, kind of like I don't want to get into trouble with the BBC. Along the lines of a Time Lord. He's a time traveler. So he kind of jumps through all the stories. So it's not like he impacts the story directly because he can't, because of the time streams. He can't really have too much of a direct impact. But he nudges. He kind of does things that would push a story, push a character in a certain way. Like he gave Simon a keepsaker 2 books ago, and now is when we're going to see what that keepsaker has. So it's things like that. Elisa says, super worried about going back to work after there's almost no mask distancing compliance. Please wear a mask. Even if no one else around you is doing it, try to be safe, because it is serious, Yeah, Davina says, we have 75 cases of COVID-19 in factory workers near us, hoping we haven't been exposed. Or did I still have antibodies left? Yeah, from already having it. Please, yeah. Just be safe. As safe as you can be. Whether it's wearing a mask, social distancing, staying home, just try to stay out of crowds. Dolly says, in addition allergy. He also has MD allergy. Yeah, I am one of those guys who's reluctant to go to the doctor. In the case of the knee, it's because I knew I've done enough things to my body to know when things are really permanent or feel out of sorts. And Dolly doesn't. She's like, yeah, right. Okay, come on, let's go to the doctor. But I'm getting better. So, but yeah, I don't rush to the hospital if I kind of have an idea of where it's coming from. Jenny says chronic pain is awful, and I wholeheartedly agree, Jenny. It is awful. Let's see. Chronic pain is a life changer if you let it. If you let it, and that's the key. A lot of it is mental. A lot of people learn to adapt. I wouldn't say so much accept it, but adapt to it or work their life around it because you can't let it stop you. And sometimes I know people who have torn ACLs, torn MCLs, have had surgery. It's still bad. You find a way to work around it. You may not be able to do what you did before, but you find a way around it. Jenny asks, he is a Stanley Watcher type thing regarding Sid. Yes, Jen, he's very much a Stanley Watcher type thing with the Monty Strong universe. When they have their own series, which is called The Designers, he's training an apprentice designer, which is Nina. And there he's a lot more active because there he's trying to train her not to mess up time strings. So he has to take a much more active role. And so, yeah. And so, yeah, he's very much like a Stanley, very much like a watcher. He's everywhere. You turn around, he's going to be there. But he doesn't impact much. Except, like, in this case where he gave Simon a keepsake box. Yeah, Chris, exactly. That's what I was doing. You find a position that doesn't hurt, and you don't want to move. You're like, oh, yeah, okay, this is great. And you want to just stay in that position indefinitely, but it doesn't last long. Let's see, Wendy says, I don't irritate it, so there's that. Cranky is an easy step away, and it helps keep social distancing easy. Yeah, and that's what will calm you right down. So, yeah, it's the way it is. You know, I think it's a factor of age, too, and there are other factors. Your tolerance for certain things drops, so you don't really make idle chatter as much. Your tolerance for certain things is like, really? And so you get cranky. And I think this is why older people get cranky, because your tolerance drops, you know? Can we unplug this thing? Oh, you can see it's there's a message. Maybe there's a package. Making a package? Okay. It's unplugged. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, right, Davina says sometimes it's not if you let it, sometimes it's not an option. Right, sometimes you have to deal with whatever it is your body's going through. Sometimes there are changes. I know friends who've had accidents or were victims of accidents, and their body radically changed, and you have no option. You got to deal with it. You got to modify your life. You got to modify how you get around. You got to modify everything, and that's just the way things go. So you just have to work around that. Let's see. Sharon says she heard today the local McDonald's is closed due to COVID among staff. Yeah, anyone that has been in there over the last week has been asked to get tested. So you don't eat McDonald's, so lucky you. Yeah, you got to be careful, really, guys. I mean, it's not over, and this is going around the world, and there are places where they had gotten it under control, and now it's started to spike again. So, yeah. I like Malcolm's philosophy. Why pester the doctor for something minor, and everything is minor until proven otherwise? See, I like that philosophy. Here's my thing. Even in the best of times, I'm reluctant to go to the hospital. Like, I have to be bleeding or something has to be broken, like, and bent, and I go, okay, maybe we should go to the doctor. Because I really have a high pain tolerance. But worse now, during this pandemic, I'm not going to rush into a hospital when there are people who need the spaces. For me just going, oh, my knee hurts. And there are people who are like life and death. So I'm not going to rush into a hospital for my knee. So, and like, see, I'm getting comments from the peanut gallery. There's another comment that dates me. No comments from the peanut gallery. Let's see. Elisa says, I've been wearing one since it was recommended along with the hand washing. Yes, please do. Please wear a mask. Please wash your hands regularly. Yeah, just Common sense stuff, guys. Really. Yeah, Carrie Ann, welcome. Carrie Ann, I finished Ghost of Tsushima. You should start playing that, like, ASAP. Forget about, well, I won't say forget about. Start Assassin's Creed at some other time when it comes out. Jump into Ghost of Tsushima. You're never going to leave Japan. It's amazing. Chris says you find a workaround. Yeah, we're that workaround. That's normal. Welcome, Darren. I think you joined, or maybe it was a different Darren. I think it was Darren M. This is Darren Chapman. Welcome, Darren. Yeah, Paige, listen, I leave the house in the morning when my knee was working fine. I was leaving the house in the morning. My wife, Dolly, would go, you never go out. You should go out. You got to get air. I say, I go out every day. I walk the dog in the morning. I walk the dog at night. That's plenty of out for me, right? And she's like, because she'll take the kids out, safely. Then I'm like, I don't need to go out far. Walk around the block, walk the dog, walk the back. I'm good. And so I'm like you, Paige. Barely left the house for a convenience store, gone nowhere in 6 months. I'm right there next to you. Yep. Malcolm says, Sid impacts everything. No, it's not at all. Yeah. Who was it? Somebody was saying that don't make him a Deus Ex Machina, like don't make him a god in the machine where he saves everything. I don't need Sid for that. If I wanted to have a god in the machine, we have plenty of gods in the Monty and Strong world. I think it was another Mark. Like, don't make him basically a Deus Ex, say the Latin, Deus Ex Machina is a vehicle that writers sometimes use wrong or poorly, where someone comes in and has the solution to everything immediately, boom, and the plot is resolved. Usually is when a writer writes himself into a hole and can't get out, and so they have this character come in and everything's fixed. I don't need Sid for that, though, because Sid is not that kind of powerful. He's powerful, but he's more powerful in the domino effect. Like, if I move this at this time, this will happen, and so forth and so on. We have plenty of gods within the stories itself that I don't need Sid for that. But he does impact everything, and you don't notice him. It's that butterfly effect. Let's see. Alicia says, chronic pain sufferers become superhuman. You learn to deal and look like thing or almost nothing is hurting, but what they feel is actually excruciating. Yes. And that plays a lot in Walking the Razor. You'll see it happen with Monty as he goes to the dark side, because there's some pain involved in that, but it's not physical pain. It's psychological pain. Hello, Linda. Welcome. Cynthia says, I have the joy of driving a school bus. Oh my God. Cynthia, please wear a mask. Whatever you do, wear a mask. Okay? And wash your hands, because kids are like, what do they call them? Petri dishes. So yeah, like all that together, as much as you can, keep the windows open, yeah. Donnie gives a lot of side eyes, like, there's an escape of air over here. A lot. It's like we're having a depressurization on this side of the desk. Yeah, see, that's what it is. The Black Knight, Jenny says it perfectly. My husband is the Black Knight from Monty Python. 'Tis just a flesh wound as he loses an arm and a leg and another arm and another leg. Come on, I'll bite you. Things like that. Alicia says there's just a teleconference with the and I'm going from there. I don't know about that. We'll see. Let's see. Wendy, is that Casey's Kansas City? And is it really that hot there? Cheeseburger Monty. Yeah, Monty's not going to be eating any cheeseburgers. Monty's a vegan, so he can't eat meat. Welcome, Helen. Davina says, I call my kid a germ factory. Ours have gotten a lot better about cleaning their hands, but they still have to be reminded constantly. Sharon, all I can tell you is, I don't discuss politics, government, stuff like that. All I can tell you is wear a mask, wear gloves. You're doing your personal safety. and you're actually helping other people stay safe too. You know, Sharon says I work in a school, so back to work next week. It's just so confusing with the government guidelines. I worry, wear my mask, and hope for the best. Yeah, it's a worry. Yeah, wear your mask, please. Stay as safe as you possibly can. Chris, yeah, see, that's what I used, yeah, because from class, too, like martial arts class, you bang up, break things, twist things, and you're like, oh, that's not working the way it's supposed to be. Chris says, I walk in the house bleeding, and he says, how did you cut yourself? And he goes, what, I'm bleeding? Where? So, unless it's splurting and gushing, we really don't watch it. You're like, oh, look, I'm bleeding. Oh, there's a question that was missed from Tina Rose. Tina Rose asked, thank you, Malcolm. So are you Monty cranky? Are Monty and Simon still in the PPD world? Monty and Simon were never in the PPD world. The PPD world was the world that I jumped into with John Logston, and you should pick up his book because there's I think the last of the Badlands PPD is available for pre-order, which is I don't know if it's Dragon's Mire. I think it's Dragon's Mire. So that one's available for pre-order, but Monty and Simon were never in the PPD world. So am I Monty cranky? No, not quite. When about a week ago I was Monty cranky, but yeah. Yeah, that is normal Monty. Like Craig says, that's normal Monty, not Dark Monty. Dark Monty, if you read Dark Glass, he threatened to obliterate Simon. So, bye Sharon, take care. Thank you for coming and visiting. Awesome to have you. All right, so let me continue. So Blood was almost done, and then Walking the Razor will be next because if not, you guys would kill me. After that, I'm jumping right into the sepia world. So I read sepia 3 kind of again. You know, I have notes. I have to read it just to kind of get the flow. And I'm still contemplating whether it should be first or third person because the first 3 sepias were written in third person. And now I'm so used to writing in first person, it's going to feel a little odd to write in third person. So I'm still thinking about how to write that. But those 2 will be next after Walking the Razor. Then I'll be finishing off some of the smaller trilogies, the short ones, the novellas. And then back into Monty and Strong. I gotta really focus on Monty and Strong. But there's so many series. Probably not have to go over read through the schedule again because the schedule out is yeah. Huh? Again, yeah. We've done the book release time twice already, and it keeps shifting. So, Dragon Scrape, thank you, Malcolm. And so please get it. The pre-order, or if it's live, get it today, please. Like Wendy says, yeah, it's good advice. Stay hydrated, take your vitamins and oils, wear your mask, do everything you can to stay safe, really. Yes, Darren seconds that Dragon Scrape is out today. It's the last of the Badlands book. Remember, the books, it's 5 books, so get all 5, okay? Craig asked, didn't they have a crossover in London? Yes. It was an Ian Dex book, though, Craig. It wasn't in the Badlands PPD. It was, and it really was a crossover. Like, Ian and company were chasing someone. They were near Trafalgar Square. Monty and Simon were running the other way and helped Ian kind of apprehend the person that they were chasing. And that was the extent of that kind of crossover. And that was a nightmare. Just getting all that to coordinate properly. Because it was also in an Ian Dex book, but it was also in a Monty and Strong book. And that's why they had to, that's why it was difficult. Because we had to make sure that it kind of fit. Yeah, yes. Yes, Paige. Take a walk in on PPD London, yeah. Right, we had Monty and Strong had a very brief cameo, guest appearance in Ian Dex. Good morning, Rhiannon. Welcome. So let's see. Yeah, so some of the shorts will be, so between Walking the Razor and the next 2 sepias, I'll be doing some of the shorts. I have to do one of the Zephyr stories. You guys don't know what that is yet, so I can't tell you, but it's the noir story. So that has to get done. So that's going to be done in between. It's going to be a novella. It's going to be short, so it shouldn't take too long. and then it's the sepias and all that other stuff. Please check, Jenny, because that way, that book really noticed Dragon Script. Awesome. Let me know if there are any questions on YouTube, Chris. And hello to the 4 people watching on YouTube. Hey, it's awesome. Let's see. Wendy says, I love to see Alistair Stone run into Monty in London. That would be awesome. I really like Alistair Stone's character, and I actually know R.L. King. We met at a 20 books to Vegas, 20 books to 50K Vegas. So it would be interesting, but I try not to, how would I put it? I try not to go into other people's worlds because it creates waves. And so, yeah, that's why I write so many different characters in the same world, because that way I don't have to go outside my own world. I can stay in my world and approach it from so many different ways, and it's never an issue because they're all characters within the world. With the exception of Sepia Blue, and because I had Monty and Simon. If you haven't read Dark Glass, I'm sorry, I'm spoiling it for you a bit. But Monty and Simon kind of visited Sepia's world. Right, yeah, that's exactly what Davina's saying, is that when you have a cameo, it tends to mean that they're in the same world, which screws with continuity. So that's why I don't do that with other people. And plus, it's other people's characters. I don't, I try to respect that as much as possible. So, yeah. I'm glad you were able to switch if YouTube was lagging. Wendy says totally different universes. Correct. They are totally different universes. So I don't mix universes. We don't cross streams. Well, Cynthia said she was going to do a YouTube watch party, but her net is being freaky and the page isn't loading right. So thank you for the attempt, though, Cynthia. I'm sorry you were having internet issues. Yeah, Craig. Craig says the Iron Druid is over now, so a pop-up visit would have no continuity problems, except that Kevin said, and I spoke to him not too long ago, that he's continuing the Iron Druid world. So it may not be Atticus, but there are going to be other characters set in that world. So I wouldn't want to jump into Atticus's world because that would be an issue. Hello, Laura. Welcome. Just got home. Got here just in time. We still have like about half an hour. So awesome. But I enjoyed the Iron Druid series, except I didn't have... Here's the thing. I haven't finished reading it. I have the last book, and the reviews were so polarizing that I'm really going to take my time to read the last book in the Iron Druid series. Because the reviews were like, what was he thinking? What the heck? It was really, really a large amount of reviews for the last book. But I'm going to read it for myself and make up my own mind. But I'm a little wary because I really enjoyed that series so much. And if it ended badly, I'm going to be upset. Alicia says, I like little nods, short meetings with other characters. I can suspend continuity parts for funny time moments. That's why I do the Easter eggs. So it's not exactly touching upon jumping into other worlds, but it's still the characters. Yeah. Mark says, I'm anxiously awaiting the designer series. When I read about Sid, I thought of the Time Lord right away. Love Doctor Who. So do I, which is why I'm writing the designer. It's very much an homage to Doctor Who without being, without venturing into BBC territory. You know. Malcolm Robertson says, do I need to read the Iron Druid? You should. They're still excellent. And if between Jim Butcher and Kevin Hearn and a few other authors, that's where the inspiration for the relationship between Simon and Peaches comes from. Mouse doesn't speak, which is Harry's dog, he's a foo dog, and Atticus's dog Oberon does speak, and so it's kind of a combination of those two. And you get those together, you make it a hellhound, and you have peace. Let's see, Jenny says, but crossing streams is the only way to defeat Vigo. Yes, Jenny, it's true, but we're not going there. How was PT, Laura? I hope it was good, and I hope the hand and the wrist, everything okay. See, pages, yeah. Page, I read the reviews, which I should have never done, because usually I don't read the reviews first. I usually just read the book. But I was warned before reading the reviews. I was warned by other authors and readers. Read the reviews. Don't jump into the book, because they know how much I enjoy it. You're going to be upset. And so that's why. Craig asks, if you ended Monty strong, what kind of review would you expect for the book? That's a good question, Craig. The review that I would expect is that it ended well, that it ended the way it needed to, and to thank you for the ride. Like it was a great adventure. It's kind of like how you feel when you see a really great movie and you're sorry that it's ended, but you're really glad you were able to go on the adventure. Well, a good book, a really good book does that too. No, I'm not gonna spoil it for you, Malcolm, in terms of how it ended badly, because I haven't read the book. So I'm taking people that I know trust their review on the book. This is nothing to say about Kevin's writing ability. He's a fantastic, awesome writer. I think what happened was, from what I'm gathering from reviews, understand this is secondhand information. He had to finish the Iron Druid series because he was contracted to start Plague of Giants, and so time crunch, and it almost seems like he rushed the end of Iron Druid to jump into Plague of Giants, which does happen with some writers. And so, some writers get time crunched, and some writers just don't finish their series. I'm looking at you, George. So, I don't know how ended badly in the sense of not true to the character, Malcolm. Right, Alicia, and from what I get from the reviews, and people understand the motivation, understand the why. As an author, I understand the why. As a reader, I think I'd be pissed. So, yes, you'll love Oberon. Paige is completely right. You will love Oberon. Oberon is an awesome, awesome animal sidekick. He really is. Linda also says Oberon's one of the best parts of that series. Yeah, I used to look forward to the Oberon parts. In the Iron Druid. No, not even Davina. I had complaints about the ending from other author friends who are also avid readers, because every author that I know is a voracious reader. So yeah. So the complaints were coming from other directions. Darren says, I was reading an epic fantasy the other day, and the character had an animal which spoke to them and made me laugh and think of Peaches. Yeah. Now I can't read animals that speak without thinking about Peaches. That's just, my brain is wired that way now. So. Oh, Malcolm says, I meant your endings. Everyone, no, not everyone goes Sith in my endings, Malcolm, but that would be a cool ending. Sometimes when I'm really frustrated, like with an ending, I just say, I think the next line, and then an asteroid hit the planet, the end. And, I get it out of my system, and then I write the ending. Malcolm says, ask if it's paperback or Kindle. I think it's both. I know I have the set in, I think I got a few in paperback, I think. Or maybe not. I don't remember if I got a paperback. I think I got them all in Kindle. But they're available in both. Kindle. Yeah, Kindle. Yeah, that was around the time when Dolly was starting to give me looks about how many books we had. I said, you know what, I better start getting these things on Kindle. I'm also going to run out of space. So, exactly, Chris. Yeah, kind of like when your kids grow up, leave home, you hope you did a good job, and folks like what you produce. It's kind of like, yeah, same way. I had this comment with the mods about, the characters, and sometimes people will write stuff about this. Like, I've had people tell me, oh, Monty would never do that, or Simon would never do that. And in the beginning, when I first started, I would get a little bothered by that until I understood that when you produce something and you write something and then you unleash the world, it's really no longer completely yours. Yeah, you're the creator of it, but people take their feelings, their associations, excuse me, and they appropriate it and they make it their own. And so it's really a sign of of flattery, and it's a sign of, you know, long-lasting impressions when people take characters and say, no, this character would never do that, or that character would do that. And I laugh now because I'm thinking, okay, well, I kind of created this character, so I kind of have an idea of what the character would do or say or act, how they would act. But sure, go ahead, give me your opinion, you know? And so when you create something and you put it out in the world, you have to be prepared for the fact that people are going to see it and filter it through their history, through their past. And this is why people love some characters and why people don't like some characters, because it's just this character would never do that. And that happens. And people take on characters, and this is why Harry Potter is so big. Because you got to see, you know, you have kids who read this book are not giving that book to their kids because they love characters. Or Lord of the Rings, the same thing. You fall in love with these characters and they become part of your history. And this Batman is 77 years old and they're making a new movie soon. So if you can write a character that lasts 77 years and still go strong, or Superman, who's probably close in age, things like that, they become part of society. Characters. Bye, Tina Rose. I'm sorry you had too much lag. I'm sorry. Oh, let's see. Yes, Jenny. You want to see it in a nice way, and it makes it clear you just sat it ended. Yeah. When I read the first Terry Brooks Sword of Shannara, when it was the only book out, there was no other book. It was just the Sword of Shannara, and it was this big, the Sword of Shannara. When I got the last few pages, and I thought that there was not much story left, I got really sad. Now we're talking a long time ago. But I got really sad because the story, it's an epic book. If you've never read the Shannara series, now it's like, oh my God, now it's like so many books. But the first one, the Sword of Shannara, it's an epic story, and you go through the whole thing, and I got to the end and I was really sad, and then I finished it, and as soon as I finished it, I started it again. It's crazy. Let's see. Yes, Wendy, Oberon has some side stories, some short stories with some sidekicks that are really fun. I own those. Those are great. I've read those. They're really fun. Oberon has like a little mini adventure. Justin, Richard, Webb, welcome. Good morning or good afternoon. Malcolm says asteroids are scheduled for November. Yeah. The way 2020 is going, I think asteroids are scheduled for October, and a black hole is scheduled for November. Sorry. Davina says every following book chat, mostly being us saying you could always do a follow. You know, that's what would happen. You know, if I ever stopped Monty and Strong, I'm sure it would be like, okay, so when are you writing another Monty and Strong story? I'm positive it would be that. And that's because everyone really enjoys. I enjoy writing Monty and Strong. Oh, we got 24 minutes. Okay, good. Because I want to get to the questions. We have some really good questions. Right, yes. Luke Daniels' page is mentioning that the books are on Audible. I believe Kevin Hearn's books are on Audible with Luke Daniels, who's a fantastic narrator. Luke Daniels is a great narrator. So if you can get any of the Iron Druid series on Audible, you're in for an amazing treat. Yeah. And Davina says we could use, Craig says we could use a reunion tour for M&S. Yeah, okay. Davina says November was a Yeti invasion. I missed that memo. I thought the Yeti invasion was December because it was closer to the cold. But okay. Asteroids are October. Got it. I'll have to pencil it in because there's so many conflicting cataclysms coming. I want to make sure that it's straight on my calendar. Jenny, I think it's just one asteroid, but I might be mistaken. We might be getting multiples. Chris says it means he made a big impression. Yeah, I used to, you know, when I was younger, I used to do fanfic for Batman because I used to read Batman comics. I would write my own stories. So, you know, I couldn't publish them because DC would be after me in a heartbeat. But yeah. Craig asks, have you heard of any cosplayers doing any of your characters? I don't think Monty Strong is quite that popular yet to have cosplayers. But that would be awesome, I think. Jenny says, it better not mess up my Halloween. I have Play-Doh to hand out. You hand out Play-Doh at Halloween? Is that like a trick? Or, yeah, I don't know. I'm perturbed by that statement. Let's see, what does Wendy say? Now I want a collaboration between Oberon, Peaches, and Mouse. I believe Mouse chooses not to speak. I was always of the mind that Mouse could speak, but really doesn't want to. And if he did, it would blow Harry's mind away. And also Mr. I always felt Mr. could speak, or that Mouse and Mr. could speak. But that would be awesome. You just got to get Kevin and Jim to agree to a 3-way collaboration that we can all write together. Yeah, that's going to happen. Malcolm says, Sword of Shannara was awesome. Love the trilogy. I read up to the trilogy and then I couldn't follow anymore. Terry Brooks is amazing as an author and a writer, but it just got way, I couldn't follow it. It just got too convoluted. Really convoluted. I don't know what happened with Sword of Shannara. Because then it became like the Elves of Shannara, the Druids of Shannara, the Scions of Shannara. It just went all over the place. I mean, and it's good because there's different generations picking it up. But I'll stick with the original trilogy. Yeah. Davina makes a good point. She says, I remember someone on Twitter arguing with Neil Gaiman about what kind of phone as Raphael would have. Yeah. See, it's things like that. And you're gonna argue with Neil about right. Okay, sure. I mean, it's just, that's just the way, but that's awesome, and it's funny. And as an author, you can't get offended by that. You just gotta embrace it. Hello, Rebecca. Welcome. Got like 20 minutes. We're hanging out. Let's see. Davina says, no, December is the official entry point of the new Ice Age. Oh, see, I didn't put that on my calendar. The Yetis are first. December may include Ice Dragons, though. Oh, cool. Okay, I'm waiting for the Ice Dragons, because I missed them in Game of Thrones, so. Cynthia Snell says, cosplay contest at Peaches Con. That's awesome. I think we should definitely have a cosplay contest. Yeah. Craig, I like that. See, I knew as soon as we mentioned dragons, Craig had something to say. He says, hashtag need more dragons. I think I need to bring them back a bit. They've been a little bit behind the scenes and everything, but I think they'll come back in a few books later on. Requiem, Divine Intervention, Stormblood, Revenant, Blood Lessons, Broken Magic, Lost Runes. Maybe around Entropy. Then that's the 20th book. The 20th, we'll bring them around there, because you can't have too many dragons, because then they take over everything. He's explaining this. Let's see. Jenny, no, I hand out small Play-Doh containers. It's for the Teal Pumpkin Initiative for kids with allergies and dietary restrictions. That is awesome. So they Play-Doh instead of candy because they may have allergies or dietary restrictions for candy. That's fantastic. Okay, cool. I like that. That's really amazing. Let's see. Chris says, I already got my Crazy Mage costume. I think I call that getting dressed every day. So, talk about megafauna. That would be megafauna. Beads and rubber bracelets. Well, I have my mala, guys. No joke. Look, it's my mala. So I'm ready. I'm ready to do Simon. I gotta just put this on. I'm ready. Let's see. Well, Paige, you're gonna have to shave your head. Start with that, and then go from there. And wear a lot of shorts, because I like to wear shorts all the time. So I wear shorts even in the winter. Ask Dolly. Even in the winter, I wear my khaki shorts because I don't really feel the cold. I've conditioned myself not to really feel the cold. I still will wear like a hoodie, right? I'll wear a hoodie, but I still wear shorts even in the winter. If you haven't heard of Wim Hof, you should. He's a pretty amazing guy. That's where I kind of learned the whole cold thing. Audrey says, I hand out Halloween pencils and erasers. Oh, they must love your gifts. They get candy and they get Halloween pencils. I'm sure. If I was a kid visiting your house, I'd start thinking about some toilet paper tricks. Yes, Davina. Yeah, Chris could beat Dex for sure. There you go, Paige. You can just shave. I keep trying to get everybody in my family to get to the hairstyle, but nobody really. I think only the number 1 queen managed it, and then she doesn't want to do it again. I'm like, come on. Yes, Malcolm, of course. That's why I'm not wearing it, because when I wear it and I accidentally press the main bead, I get a shield at the desk, and it's a problem. That's why. let me see what else do I have. Okay, let's touch on the questions. Cool. There were a bunch of questions. Is Audrey the question queen here? Would say give an extra shout out to Audrey, who always hits us with awesome questions. And we have questions from Audrey and Chris, and I think that's some others. Let's see what Chris says. Thanks for starting the beard. I showed Annie. She said, "Sigh, okay, you can grow." Yeah, listen. I went to the barber recently and got it trimmed because it was getting a little out of control. It's growing in, yeah. It's better when if I shave it now, it's way too itchy. Okay, here we go. Question. This one I believe is from Audrey, if I'm not mistaken. Do you now, or have you ever had a nickname? When I was younger, really young, that I had just moved into this neighborhood, we're talking 7, 8, they used to call me Smiley because I was always smiling. So that was a nickname from when I was a little kid. I'm talking like really young, Smiley. Then when I went to junior high school, they used to call me Oreo because it's the same thing as Orlando. It was an O in the beginning and an O at the end, and nobody wanted to say Orlando, so they would say Oreo. And then when I was a little older, into adulthood, I get Zen, and that's also one of my screen names on Destiny. I play as Zensei. So it went from Smiley to Oreo to Zen. Now there are times where my son will play, he'll say, "Hey Zen," instead of saying Dad. He'll say Zen. So it does have a tendency to get in there. Hello, Dolly, welcome. All right, so those are my nicknames. No one really calls me any of them anymore. But if you call me one of those nicknames, I know from what part of my life you're from. So if you call me Smiley, I know I grew up with you. If you call me Oreo, I know I went to school with you. And if you call me Zen, we're adult friends. So, yeah. And it's been an evolution. So from smiling to having all the cool, creamy stuff in the middle to very mellow and Zen. Look at that. Okay, which book series is most fun to write? Monty Strong. That goes without saying. I'm sure it's evident in the, like when you read the book, you have to be able to see that it's fun to write because it's fun to read. I mean, I read it. I'll go back and read a Monty Strong book, and I'm reading it as if I didn't write it. It's the funniest thing because sometimes I have to research. I do notes, but sometimes I have to research. In this book, I said something specific, and I'll go back and I'll read, and then I get lost reading the book. I'm like, oh wait, I'm actually writing right now. I'm not supposed to be reading. So Monty Strong by far. The hardest series to write was my first one, which was The Words of the Way, which is Dolly's absolute favorite series. That was the hardest because I didn't know what I was doing. And I had like 800 characters doing 800 different things. And so, yeah, it was all over the place. That was the hardest one to write. So, yeah, Monty Strong is by far my favorite, the one I had the most fun. Sepia and the Chronicles of the Modern Mystic, which is Ava James, for those who don't know, led the way to Monty Strong. And so it was different degrees of excitement and fun that kind of gelled around Monty and Strong. But I had to write those books before I could get to Monty and Strong. Another question. Next question. Do you like opera? Do you have a favorite? I enjoy opera because for me, it's the immense skill required to be able to perform opera. That's what I appreciate about it. Most of the time it's Italian or German or a different language, so like Carmen or Rigoletto or I don't really understand what's being said. I know the story because I grew up in a musical household and I had to watch these things. And I took music when I was younger, and so we had no choice but to learn these things. But I wouldn't be like an opera goer, even though I would go to one just because I've never been to an opera in the sense of actually going to Lincoln Center and going to an opera. I'm not a big, like, oh, I gotta listen to this opera, but I can listen to it and appreciate the immense talent and skill and training it takes to sing opera, to perform it. Because it is the voice, that's when you really see a voice as an instrument. What they can do with the range and what they can do with their voices is incredible. And you have to be incredibly gifted, incredibly talented, but also incredibly persevering, because it takes a lot of work to get to that level of this talent. So yeah, I don't have a favorite really, because I'm not that much of an opera person, but I enjoy all opera basically. I can listen to it for sure. Do I listen to it in my spare time? No, but I can listen to it. All right, let's see. Chris Mendoza asks, will we see more mobile videos? Yeah, for sure. The UI for Facebook is changing again in September, because why not mess with something that's working, you know? So that's gonna be fun figuring that out. And I think we may just go mobile and start taking these things outside at some point. Let's see, it's getting colder. We'll see. But yeah, I think I want to make more mobile videos just because they're fun, and you get to see a little bit a different thing than just this setup. Okay, Chris also asks, who is your favorite Batman actor and why? Oh, let's see. Well, I grew up with Adam West. He's not my favorite Batman actor, but he's the one that campy Batman was always fun to watch, and I would race home after school to watch Batman, because that's when they would play around 3-something in the afternoon every afternoon. And you get to watch Batman and Robin and get to watch I didn't know it was camp then until I got older, and then I realized, oh, that's not the Batman I grew up with. This Batman is kind of goofy. And so as I got older, you know, I got to realize, oh, there's different versions of the character. But my favorite actor would have to be the Christian Bale Batman, because it was the one that was closest to The Dark Knight. That was the graphic novel that was written by Frank Miller. So that would be my favorite. And there were a lot of Batmans. There was Michael Keaton. There was, oh my God, George Clooney was a Batman. Who else was there? Were a few Batmans, and all of them. The Tim Burton Batmans were kind of, you know, it was a little bit too much to almost like a parody. So I wasn't too crazy about those. It was good because it was the evolution that led to the Christopher Nolan Batman, which is Christian Bale. The new one with Robert Pattinson, I'm like, we'll see what happens. I'm optimistic because it seems like a really darker, grittier Batman, but I'm having a hard time seeing him as Batman and not as a glittery vampire. So that's going to be hard to kind of get that image out of my head. So we'll see. Yeah. So Christian Bale would have to be the one that I enjoy the most portraying Batman. Except that he always had to speak like this. I mean, that was the only thing that must have been horrible on his throat as an actor. Okay, let's see. Rebecca asks, these are questions. This is the time to ask questions. We got like 10 minutes left, so this is our questions part. So, let's see. Audrey says, M&S does seem to effortless. When I write Monty and Strong, it's not work. It really is really easy to write. And what I have to kind of do is rein it in. It's not so much like the other stories where it's never really work if I'm writing in a Monty and Strong world. But when I'm writing Monty and Strong specifically, it's really easy for me in terms of where the story's going, what the characters are going to do, how they speak, how they interact, it just happens really fast and easy. That is not a problem. They seem to flow, yeah. Rebecca asks, is Peaches going to keep Simon out of trouble? Simon doesn't get into trouble. Think about it. Let's see. Craig says, I like opera singers, but dislike the overblown pageantry. But see, the overblown pageantry is kind of what makes opera opera. Because if not, then it would just be a musical. Like, I really enjoy Hamilton, but it's not opera. It's kind of like rap musical, but it's not opera. The pageantry, dresses, the sets, the makeup, that's what makes opera kind of opera. And so without all of that, it wouldn't really be opera. It would just be a musical. Wendy says, I love opera for the talent and the emotions it pulls you through. Yeah, you really get to feel the emotions of the characters in opera, like through the song, through what they're saying or singing. It's like I said, I really appreciate the range. You've got to be able to. Some of those notes they hit, it's incredible. Both the men and the women. Rebecca says the Mikado is cool. Yes, it is. I agree. I never got to see it, or Madame Butterfly, but it's good, yeah. Jenny says, "Oh, bless Facebook's pointy little head fault." Yes, yes, one of those bless your heart moments for sure. Because they're gonna change their UI again, coming September, and we may not be able to do it. Just have to go back to mobile, so we'll see. Gilbert and Sullivan, yeah, and I grew up with the era of Fred Astaire, Bing Crosby, Bob Hope, you know, so I can appreciate that kind of music too. Let's see. Until next month. Oh, yeah, hold on. Yeah. Right. Chris is on point. FB is forcing all to switch to new design in September. Yeah, I keep getting notices. It's going to be done in August. It's not going to work in August. I'm like, really? Really? Davina, yeah. Christian Bale and Heath Ledger's Joker was by far the most disturbing Joker in all of the acting, in all the movies. Was the best and most disturbing Joker. I never got to see Leto as Joker. I didn't really get to see Ben Affleck as Batman because I kind of stayed away from that. Justice League, I was like, eh. But Heath Ledger stole that movie. He stole it completely. He was an incredible Joker. Yeah. Let's see. Hey, what about Peaches? I don't know, Rebecca. What about Peaches? What about it? What about him? What about Peaches? Wendy says, I took my ability to share the MMC events. Hope that gets resolved. What are the MMC events, Wendy? I don't know what they are. Chris says, the fun you have, if you guys have questions, we got 5 minutes, so ask them. The fun you have writing M&S comes, yeah, and a lot of the Easter eggs that people say, oh my God, I can't believe you put this in. They're not pre-planned. None of my Easter eggs, it's the way Simon would speak, or it's the way Monty would speak, and it's the way they would interact with each other, or Simon would say something, I know Monty would say this, or Monty would say something, I know Simon would say this. But those Easter eggs are never pre-planned. That's just the fun of writing those characters. Let's see. Craig says, I actually enjoyed the darker aspects of Batman. Yeah, I never really, I have no context, because I didn't really watch Justice League, and I don't know, but, you know, Affleck didn't call my attention as Batman. I think he pulled it off, because from the clips that I saw, he kind of got the character right, but again, I kind of really like the Christian Bale. Let's see what Patterson can do. Okay, this is a Chris Min Wendy Shinley thing, so you guys will sort that out. I use my phone and iPad, so I'm used to things changing every couple of weeks. Yeah, Craig, I don't do that, but yeah. Great Kelly, Gene Kelly, Audrey, yeah, Singing in the Rain. That's a fantastic movie. I enjoy watching that one. Yankee Doodle Dandy too. Yeah. Linda Ronstadt, yeah, wow, that's going back way back, Rebecca. Linda Ronstadt in Pirates of Penzance, yeah. Yes, Wendy, I agree. Bless their hearts and hex their hinds, for sure. Chris says, if we could have everyone join a YouTube broadcast, we could bypass the FB crap. I don't know how. If we could pull it off, I'm going to go for it. I don't know how we would do that. That would be awesome. Oh, Mystic Moon Cafe. See, the new FB. Oh, yeah, because you do the events. That's right. I don't know how you managing that. That's interesting. Rebecca says, Peaches kind of disappeared at the end of last book. Yeah, that was by design. He had to kind of step to the side a little bit. But he's not gone. He just kind of, he's there. Because he's never far from Simon. Joaquin Phoenix was not in Joker. He was Arthur Fleck also. Yeah, I didn't see that movie yet. And I want to see it because it got so many great reviews and so many accolades. But I heard he did a fantastic job as Joker also. It was a whole different take on the Joker. So I kind of have to prep myself for that one because I know it's a different interpretation of Joker. Yeah, Davina, I think the people joining on YouTube, it's because of the different internets. That everyone has different servers, so it's different for each person, different lag times, different connection rates, things like that. Rebecca says, Jeremy Irons did a good Alfred. Yeah, but I have a hard time seeing anyone as Michael Caine as Alfred now because, again, I'm really fixated on the Christian Bale one. So, and Michael Caine is just a great actor. He's been acting for like 100,000 years. He's been in everything. What was the movie that he was in with Haley Joel Osment, Something Lions. Michael Caine was so good in that movie. I mean, he was excellent in that movie. I mean, they both were. The actor that he played against, I forget his name. It was like his older brother or his friend. But Michael Caine really they were amazing in that movie. It's Something Lions. I know someone can look it up. Or I'll look it up later. Phoenix is disturbing like that, but I felt his Joker could fit well into that. Yeah, I haven't seen it, Davina, but I'm sure I will, because I know it's on my list of things to watch. Right. Secondhand Lions. See, my brain's filed. He does that. Secondhand Lions, Michael Caine was in that movie. He did really great in that movie. Let's see. The AMA used the Joker movie to demonstrate several mental disorders and how they present. Really, Craig? That's the thing. Yeah, because I know the Joker's character. People always wonder why Batman is the Joker's character. Are they two sides of the same coin? And it's interesting. That's an interesting... Yeah, no, it was Secondhand Lions, Chris. Phoenix and Joker was scary good. Like if someone told me he had actually developed multiple personalities and gone on a killing spree, I would have no trouble believing it. Yeah, those were the kind of the reviews that I got from people who saw it. It's like, you need to see this movie. Because it's an in-depth look into the character, into the psychoses of the character. And yeah. Which makes him dangerous for a character like Batman. Yeah. Robert Duvall, yes. And Robert Duvall was, oh my God, Robert Duvall was excellent in that movie. Yes, let's see. Oh, Chris says Secondhand Lions is me and my brother for sure. Yeah, I didn't realize I had two endings, Rebecca. I have to, now I have to research it. Secondhand Lions is a great movie. Right, Davina. Yeah, I know a few people who wouldn't be able to watch that movie because it hits too close to home. So, yeah. But I'm gonna watch Joker because it's part of the mythos, it's part of the canon, and Joaquin did such a great job in it. So I wanna actually see it, but I kind of have to be in the right space for it mentally because Joker's such a disturbing character. Out of all of Batman's, I would say, nemesis, I guess it would be. All the antagonists Batman has, Joker is by far the most twisted and scary of all of them. And like Batman, see, this is a character that has been around. I don't remember when Joker was first introduced in the comics, but he's got to be at least 70 years old, older, 75 years old. The character has had staying power. And he was goofy and comic-y in the campy Adam West years, taken a little more seriously during the Tim Burton years. But when it got to the Christopher Nolan years, and now, it's a really disturbing character when you think about it. And why Batman won't just erase him. See, it's delving into that. He has had the opportunity to take out Joker so many times. Why doesn't he? And that conversation, trust me, I've had hours of that conversation with friends because it's like, Batman's not a killer. Yeah, but he could just eliminate all the pain that Joker causes and so forth. So yeah, it's a rabbit hole that's deep. Let's see, pseudo bulbar effect on uncontrollable laughter. Yeah, it's so eerie when done correctly in movies. Right, yeah, and then he creates a chemical that induces that. So imagine. Right, Malcolm. Yeah, I agree. And from the bits that I saw, it's not the kind of movie where you say, hey, let's go take the family this weekend to see Joker. Yeah, no, that would not be the kind of movie. All right, guys, look, time is up. And I've had a great time with you guys, as always. And our next Mob TV will be the 11th, September 11th. So I don't know. We'll see. We will make it a commemorative because that's 9/11. So we'll see. That's when we're scheduled to have our next one. So we'll see what we do. I mean, you know, life does go on, and we can do some kind of memorial and then have our usual Mob TV. Or maybe we'll make it an extra long Mob TV. So to close, get on Instagram and Spittin' Peaches, follow, like. I haven't put any posts recently because I'm not rule, but I'll get on it again. I've been putting up the little snippets, excerpts. YouTube channel. Listen, we have 1,003 something people in the... Let's get a lot of those and migrate them over to YouTube to like, subscribe, and share our start getting more people, at least like 1,000. That'd be awesome. Go to ZAZZLE M&S, not M&D's, M&S, and go get swag. Dolly has blown up that store. It used to have like now 300 things because Dolly just keeps adding stuff. And don't forget, they have skateboard decks. So, you know. So go to ZAZZLE, go to swag. Dolly keeps adding stuff. There's masks. I gotta order a mask because I have my mask, but there's a Peaches mask I want to get. So get your swag there. And always stay safe. Wear your mask. Clean your hands. Social distance. It's really important. Okay, guys? Wonderful weekend. It's always great to see you. Excellent. Bye. You want to say bye?